Bob Odenkirk may be well known for being the lead actor in the Breaking Bad spin-off series, Better Call Saul, which had an impressive 6-season run and being beloved by fans. Not to mention a new series starring Odenkirk was announced to AMC called Lucky Hank and will air this year in 2023. However, his popular role as Saul was a lot more dramatic than projects he had in the past. Bob spent much of his career in comedy, including as a writer for Saturday Night Live, which is only one of the variety of gigs he's taken on throughout his life so far. There's likely a lot you don't know about Bob Odenkirk, so today we'll dive into his early life, the different films and shows he was known for before portraying Saul, and more here for you on Famous Life. Robert John Odenkirk was born on October 22, 1962 in Berwyn, Illinois, to parents Barbara and Walter Henry Odenkirk. His father was employed in the printing business, but his parents ended up divorcing, which was partly due to his father's problem with alcoholism. That being said, this influenced Bob's decision in life to avoid alcohol as much as possible. Bob has described his father as a hollow man, as well as remote, effed up, and not around. When Bob was only 9 years old, his father left the family. He has admitted that the pain of his childhood abandonment actually helped to fuel his passion for acting. His father then passed away from bone cancer back in 1986. Bob grew up with 6 siblings, and in fact, his younger brother is comedy writer Bill Odenkirk, whom Bob helped with his early career. Bob grew up in Naperville with his family, which was right outside of Chicago, but he would later say he grew up hating the town as a 15-year-old teen because it felt like a dead end like Nowheresville. I couldn't wait to move into a city and be around people who were doing exciting things. In terms of his influences growing up, Bob said the British TV series Monty Python inspired him, and at the age of 14, Bob was able to visit Chicago's Second City Theater. Other influences, according to the actor, included radio personality Steve Dahl, Woody Allen, SCTV, Steve Martin's Let's Get Small, The Credibility Gap, and Bob and Ray. Bob attended Naperville North High School and graduated at 16. He was reportedly tired of high school, and since he had enough credits, he was able to leave high school when he was still a junior. He was so young and thought he would be awkward at college due to that fact, so Bob decided to attend the local college of DuPage in Glen Ellen, Illinois. But after a year, he changed schools. He went on to Marquette University in Wisconsin and then transferred to Southern Illinois University in Carbondale, Illinois. Here, Bob worked as a DJ for the college radio station WIDB, where he began his foray into comedy writing. He also worked on his sketch writing and performance skills with his live shows on the college stations. During his time at WIDB, Bob created a late-night radio comedy show called The Primetime Special. He ended up leaving after 3 years of college and 3 credits short of graduating so that he could move to Chicago to try his luck at writing and improv there, where he also did open mic stand-up. Bob completed his credits at Columbia College Chicago and received his bachelor degree from SIU in 1984. First, while he was studying with Del Close, Bob went to the Players Workshop where he met Robert Smigel, and they started a collaboration that would go on for years, also eventually taking Bob to Saturday Night Live. Bob performed at the Improv Olympic alongside notable comedians like the late Chris Farley and sharpened his skills at Elmhurst's Who's On First Comedy Club, as well as the Stephen Leo Show. Bob was hired as a writer at Saturday Night Live and worked there from 1987 to 1991 alongside Robert Smigel, who he met earlier, and Conan O'Brien. While Odenkirk contributed to many of the sketches he created, he felt uncertain about how efficient his writing was for the show. Around the same time, Bob was doing some stage shows, including a one-man show and a couple of others. On SNL, he also acted in a handful of small roles on the show, most notably in a 1990 parody comedy commercial for Bad Idea Jeans. While he eventually decided to leave SNL to pursue performing, Bob credits the show with teaching him a lot about sketch writing. He would relocate to LA in 1991 and was hired to write for the TV show Get a Life and then The Dennis Miller Show. Bob was also a writer and actor on The Ben Stiller Show in 1992, considering he befriended Ben while they shared an office briefly during his tenure at SNL. He helped the show to win an Emmy Award for its writing, but sadly it was cancelled already by the time it won. Odenkirk was then a writer on Late Night with Conan O'Brien for a couple of years and also scored some small acting parts, including appearing on shows like Roseanne and movies like The Cable Guy, Monkey Bone, and more. During his time on Ben Stiller, he met David Cross, and shortly after, the two began performing live sketches together, which would eventually turn into Mr. Show with Bob and David. Bob also attempted a stand-up career in the mid-90s, but ditched it soon after, admitted he hated telling the same joke twice. Mr. Show was a series created by Odenkirk and Cross and ran on HBO for 4 seasons, featuring a handful of comedians just starting their career like Sarah Silverman, Jack Black, and many more. Mr. Show was up for multiple Emmy Awards in writing, and it was well liked by critics, but it never broke free from its cult audience into larger mainstream. It would be 11 years from the end of Mr. Show until Bob landed the role of Saul Goodman in 2009. This time in between was challenging for him, and it included auditioning for the character of Michael Scott in The Office, which ended up going to Steve Carell, and making TV pilots that didn't get picked up. Odenkirk wrote in his memoir, "I had so many projects to drive into the dirt and laughs to be had along the way. One trick for surviving Hollywood's beatdown is to keep making new things despite every no. I had no intention ever of making it big." During this time, he also did some stand-up comedy and made guest appearances on TV shows including Just Shoot Me, Third Rock from the Sun, Curb Your Enthusiasm, Everybody Loves Raymond, and Arrested Development. In the mid-2000s, Bob also directed some movies including Let's Go to Prison and The Brothers Solomon. However, before appearing on Breaking Bad, Odenkirk had even declared bankruptcy. The actor explained that his failed attempt at a directing career left him in a financial hole, and while he'd never seen the show Breaking Bad yet, his manager advised him to take the role because it would allow him to clear his debts. When he joined the cast of AMC's hit series Breaking Bad as corrupt lawyer Saul Goodman, Bob's career would take off. The critically acclaimed series showcased Odenkirk's talent in depicting the opportunistic, hustling lawyer Saul Goodman, who is almost pathologically adept at getting his way. Writer Peter Gould, as well as several others, were quickly drawn to Odenkirk for this role based on his Mr. Show performances. The role of Saul was only supposed to cover a 3-episode guest spot in the second season, but Odenkirk's performance led the team to extend the character as an ongoing role. Bob became a series regular on Breaking Bad, playing Saul Goodman for the rest of the show's seasons. In fact, his performance was so compelling that creator Vince Gilligan and Peter Gould collaborated on a prequel, Better Call Saul, that would star Odenkirk. After Breaking Bad in 2014, Bob appeared as Police Chief Bill Oswalt in the miniseries Fargo, and he also began to score bigger roles in successful films including Little Women, Incredibles 2, The Disaster Artist, and more. In 2015, Bob also teamed up with former co-star David Cross to produce a new sketch comedy series based on Mr. Show called With Bob and David, which ended up being released on Netflix. Odenkirk has even expressed interest in doing more seasons. Bob starred in the title role of Better Call Saul, which was a spin-off series of Breaking Bad that was in the works. Set in the early 2000s before we see Saul in Breaking Bad, this show follows the lawyer's journey from his court-appointed defense attorney origins to his status as a successful, relentless criminal defense lawyer. The show ended up running for 6 seasons. In 2021, Odenkirk suffered an almost fatal heart attack while filming an episode for the final season, and his heart stopped beating for 18 minutes. Fortunately, he recovered and resumed filming once his health improved. Bob actually credits getting into shape for the 2021 action comedy film Nobody for helping him survive the incident. In an interview, Bob explained that he was informed that more blood was able to go to my heart during CPR because these veins were just a little bit bigger from a lot of working out. In April 2020, when Bob was aware the end of Better Call Saul was coming, he created his own production company, Cal Gold Pictures, and signed a first-look deal with Sony Pictures Television. He plans to develop unique stories with dynamic characters and social relevance. In terms of what else is next for Bob Odenkirk, we know we'll be seeing him on AMC in a leading role once again. A new series in which he stars, titled Lucky Hank, based on the novel Straight Man by Richard Russo, will air on AMC in March 2023. Thanks for watching this video. Don't forget to subscribe to Famous Life and leave a comment for who you'd like us to feature next.